There were once 3 young men who were suitors for the hand of the same girl. They were strangers to one another, and as she let one call on Monday, one on Wednesday, and one on Friday, they never came at the same time and never met. As for the girl, she liked every one of them so well that she hardly knew which to choose. And if it had not been for New Year's Day, she might still be sitting in an armchair by the western window, trying to decide. New Year's Day was coming, and each one of them planned to go and wish her a happy new year. It came to pass that they all arrived at the same time. The girl tried to talk with them all, but they sat and scowled at one another, and the longer they stayed, the crosser they became, for each was wishing that the others would go. At last the girl said, "I don't think we are having a very good time. You all want to marry me, and I honestly do not know which one to choose. Now will you let me make a test? Will you go away for a year, and when the year is past, bring me each a gift? I promise that the one bringing the gift that I like best shall be my husband." Now that they were all to have exactly the same chance, they could not be jealous of one another, and they started off on their journey all together. At evening they came to the crossroads. They agreed that each should take one of the 3 roads, and that at the end of the year they should meet at the same place to compare their gifts before they presented them to the girl. Then they separated quite in friendly fashion and not at all as enemies. The first went far, far away. He roamed from one city to another, but somehow he could not find just what seemed to him the very best thing in the world for his gift. One warm day when he was thirsty, he happened to pass by an old woman who was selling apples on the street. He took up one and said, "How much are these a measure, my good woman?" The woman smiled and said, "Take one and you will have a measure. I think that would be enough if you have the money to buy only one of the apples." "What does the woman mean?" he exclaimed, and he looked a little offended. "What is there so wonderful about your apples?" "These are not common fruit, such as you can pick from every tree," she replied. "If anyone is so sick that the doctors have given him up, let him eat a bit from one of these apples, and he will be up and well in no time at all." The young man did not delay any longer. Indeed, he was afraid that someone would be before him, and he paid a high price for just one apple so he could carry it to the girl. The second suitor wandered about fully as long as the first, roaming around from place to place in search of something that would be fine enough to serve for his gift. He too went from town to town, and at length he happened to go by the workshop of a joiner. Outside the shop stood all kinds of tables and chairs, and as he was feeling tired just then, he sat down for a moment in a big easy chair. The master of the shop came out, and the suitor said, "This is a very comfortable chair. How much is it?" The master told him what it cost, and the suitor walked about among the furniture, looking at one thing and another. "And that old broken thing over there?" said the suitor, and pointed to a broken easy chair that stood near him. "How much is that?" The master named so high a price that the suitor laughed. "I'm not so stupid as to pay all that for a shabby old thing," he said, and turned to leave the shop. "Hold on a moment," called the master. "I am not trying to cheat you. It is only that you do not know the remarkable quality which that chair possesses." "What remarkable quality do you mean?" asked the suitor. "Well," said the master, "I think you will agree with me that it is a valuable chair when I tell you that if a man seats himself in it and wishes one thing or another, it makes no difference what, his wish will come to pass on the instant." It did not take the suitor long to decide to buy the chair, even though it did cost almost all the money he had in the world. He stood and gazed at his purchase and rubbed his hands for joy. "That is the thing for my sweetheart," he said to himself. "Surely nothing can please her more, for with this she can have whatever else she may want just by making a wish." So he put the chair on his shoulder and carried it off to his lodgings, and there he sat and gazed at it until it was time to go to meet the other suitors. The third suitor had also gone far away, up and down in the country and criss-cross from city to city, but nothing had he found that seemed to him half wonderful enough to give to so wonderful a girl. At length, when he had almost given up the search, he came to a store full from top to bottom of beautiful things. Among these were multitudes of looking-glasses of all sizes and sorts. He asked the price of many of them, but did not see just what seemed of value enough for his gift. At last he saw in a rather dark corner a shabby little glass, and he asked more in jest than in earnest, "How much is that handsome mirror over there?" The merchant named a large price. "I am not sure that I have so much money in the world," said the suitor, laughing. "You'd do well to take every shilling of it and buy this glass," declared the merchant soberly, "for in it you can see at any moment whatever you choose to name. Try it if you like." So the young man looked into the glass and wished that he might see her whom he loved. And at once he saw her as she stood coiling up her hair. This was enough. "I must have the glass," he said, and he willingly paid all his money and bought it. "Surely this is a gift of more value," he thought, "than either of the others can give." When the year had come to its end, the three suitors met at the crossroads as they had agreed, and each one showed what he had bought. The first showed the apple, the second the easy chair, the third held up his looking-glass, and they all took a look. They saw the girl, but alas, she lay on her bed, sick unto death. Her parents were weeping. Doctors stood about her, but they were helpless to save her life. Then the first suitor cried, "Oh, if I was only there with my apple!" And the second cried, "Let us seat ourselves in my easy chair and wish that we were there." And in a moment, all three were in the room of the sick girl. Quick as a flash, the first cut a bit of apple and pressed it between her lips. In a breath, she raised her head and her arms, and before one could call her name, she was no longer ill, but as well as ever in all her life. But which gift saved the girl's life? And which suitor did she marry?